Is there such thing as a parent who can't help his or her child in school?
No, I think that all parents can help their child in school in some form or way. They can be involved in their child's life. Even if they can't help them directly, they can like find tutors for their child to help them, and they can be very involved with the teachers at school to help their child.
And how have the readings combined with class experiences affected your understanding or view of a parent's role in his or her child's education?
Well, from class discussions and some of the readings, I realized that a parent plays a big role in their child's education, and there are many ways that the parent can help the child. But at times, for especially for like immigrants or like people who have like tough work schedules, it can be hard to be involved in their child's life as far as their education because there are many other things that they might have to do, and they may not have time to help them with their homework. But it's very possible.
Have your views towards literacy changed? Why or why not?
My views towards literacy definitely have changed. I used to think that literacy was just reading words out of a book, but in class we learned that there's more to literacy than just reading words out of a book. And I remember in class, Professor Spees was telling us about like vocabulary that children use in their everyday life. Like for example, in their house, which is common, they'll know, oh, that's a chair, that's a book, like different things like that. And we had to incorporate some of that vocabulary into our lessons. And that's a good way for children who may not be able to read words out of a book. If they see pictures or things that they recognize, it'll be easier for them to become more literate than they already are.
All right. And what does it mean to be literate?
To be literate means that it doesn't mean that you can just read. To be literate means that you are able to read and comprehend what you're reading at the same time, and you're able to utilize it in other situations.
If you could sum up the entire semester in 3 words, what would they be and why?
The first word I would use is challenging, because we had a lot of responsibility this semester as far as like some of the work that we did and the lessons. They were actually challenging sometimes because you had to sit back and you had to think about, okay, well, what am I going to teach today? And you had to think about how you were going to incorporate it. And it could be challenging during the teaching experience because sometimes you would have ups and downs with the kids. I know with Odalis, there was just some days where she just did not want to read. She didn't want to do anything, and I had to motivate her to do so. And sometimes it could be difficult, so I had to have patience with that. The other word I would use is helpful, because interestingly enough, she was very helpful to me as I was very helpful to her, and I watched her change over the semester. She went from hardly speaking in Spanish to me at all to speaking Spanish more towards the end, and it was helpful to me because I'm a little nervous about speaking Spanish, and speaking Spanish with her helped me a lot, and it helped me not be as afraid to speak Spanish. And the last word I would use is interesting, because during our class discussions and some of the readings that we had, I discovered many different issues about ELLs and like different issues that are going on in the Latino community. And the discussions were very interesting. I learned new things.
What ways that you can continue to advocate for ELLs once this class is over?
I think a way that I can advocate for ELLs since this class is over is perhaps find another program or something that I can be involved in my community, where I can go and tutor children in Spanish or like help them in Spanish, like in a school or a church.